July 10th, 1:40 PM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Hello everyone, Triple S back with some more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, still in the courtroom. Did we talk to Matchy last time? Was it Matchy? I can barely remember, it's been a while since I recorded. But I know for a fact that we're supposed to be getting Darian on the bench today, so we'll have a chat with him. Let's carry on then. Apollo, I can't believe it. It really happened during the second act. Right in the middle of the Mars performance. Why she was in that air vent, and that switch in the flaming guitar. What? Why? Okay, that was weird. I did not understand the context of what he was saying then. I thought he was going to ask a question or something. Why she was in... oh, whatever. We only got all together, that's what we ended up with. I knew you had what it took. Hey! Ah, Daddy! Mr. Wright, you believed in me? Not really. Huh? I just thought that I'd make a cooler entrance and say, hiya. Why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all. Ah, sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed? Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy? Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Matchy to buy you off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darian Crescend. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely that our diva divine is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch. A piece of jewellery and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from my detective friend. Detective Sky? Emma? Let's see, this bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material. They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Gunshots! Under the sofa? Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy. Right, this. Well, finally some evidence that makes sense. Burnt fragments added to the court record. That's all for me, I suppose. See you after the verdict, maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darian Crescent's lighter, igniter, either one, and set it off. And he walked out the door just like a magician, normally. Ugh, what does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean? I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. So we have 3 witness testimonies to go through, and that'll be the end. So July 10th, 1:55 PM, District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to be called any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darian was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Hair forehead. Very well, call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescend. I can't speak properly at the moment, my nose is a bit bunged up. I'm having a bit of trouble pronouncing things. Name and occupation, please. Darian Crescend, Detective, Criminal Affairs, Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Governors. Maybe you've heard of us? Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honour. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darian. And don't call me partner. There. So much for old friends. I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honour, if we could begin the trial. Yes, it's high time we did. I'm just having so many flashbacks to the flipping cowboy guy saying, partner, and this is high time. I think of high noon. Let's see testimony. You may begin with your response to Lemoire's testimony, if in fact you have anything to say about it. Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Virginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice, ha! Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing. Witness testimony, Darian's rebuttal. The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots, as if. Didn't Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? It shouldn't have took place when I was on stage, man. So you claim Lemoire's testimony was a lie. Hey, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind. You go too far, Darian. Look, all I'm saying is you've got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Skye? Ah, I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. You didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lemoire's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. I wish I could talk properly. I feel like I'm slurring all of my words. We need to go to statement 4, which is... Detective Emma Skye, didn't she hear it? And I bet we don't have to press, but the guide says press to get some information out of him probably, for the context. Actually, I was there too. So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots? Yep. We heard gunshots, in quotation marks. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you. Heh. I guess you and Lemoire got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during the third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots. I actually heard them too. Remember he said he ran for the air duct when he heard them? So, how do we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were? We already know, because we just got the evidence given to us by Daddy. And it's right... here. Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's a remote triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. How did Gavin know about this? What? You think Detective Skye works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial. Just in case. Uh-oh. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been 2 firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. Haha! You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So, you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off right when two witnesses came walking by. That's right. Darren was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then? If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear, the whole place burns down. You get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? How do I explain this? He may not look it, but Darren is a gifted detective. Show any weakness, then he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner? Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself, and I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset, the kind all the band and staff members were wearing. That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped but placed, and what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you're on stage. Fair. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Hair Forehead. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake, you can't say. Ugh. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin? Indeed, if you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination will be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove that crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think. You'd better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven! You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness, your testimony if you would. This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. Heh! You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. The shooting took place during the second set. If you're so sure, let's see your proof. It says we want to press it, so we'll press it. But the gunshots heard during the third set could have been... what? Some kind of setup? I've heard that one before. Ugh. We need proof, Apollo. We need to prove that the shooting took place during the second set. Well, if you know how to do that, I'm all ears. Maybe the gunshots are the key after all. What do you mean? Well, Lemoire said she heard them, right? Right in the middle of her illusion, when she was up above the ceiling. When she forgot the words of the song, yeah. If you could prove the gun was shot right when she missed those lyrics, we're home free, I think. True. Not easy, but true. Is there some way to prove that? Let's take a look for evidence. Maybe there's something in there. Hey, aren't you supposed to be cross-examining me? Try to refrain from private discussions during cross-examination, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honour. Sorry. Just let me take a quick look through the court record. He's pretty eager to paint Lamar as a liar, ain't he? Yeah, because her testimony is basically our entire case. This is tough. So what do we do? I've got a few ideas. Just need to find another way to prove it didn't happen when he says it happened. Oh. Wait, I thought there was more to this thing. I usually, with the guide, I usually go through and see how many, like, you know, lines there are for each statement, so that I know if, like, I press a statement, say I just press that statement, I put a hashtag to know that there's a statement after that, so it doesn't take me back to the beginning. I did that for this, but apparently there isn't a statement 5, there's just the statement 4 and 4A, and that's the end. The shooting took place during the second set. So sure, let's see a proof. Yeah, we present mixing board. It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lemoire's song. Her song? What exactly is this device thingy? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps? Come on, we just use this, and don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamar's voice included. I just got a text message. Oh, but what does this prove? According to Lamar's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words of the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ha! Ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We're all deeply involved in our performance. But Lamar's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. Then let's get to analysing that recording. Right now. Lamar stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot, and I'll find the gunshots. I don't know why that thing popped up for the penalty. Right, so we need to isolate the sound from source 1. So I assume we turn all these down. We go to the second segment of the song. Wait, I didn't hear any gunshots. Wait, isolate the sound from source 1. This one. Move to the second segment of the song. Oh! It's straight away you hear it. Let's go from the beginning as well. Da, 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 da. So yeah, it's... I assume that works. Your Honour, listen closer to this part. This is the track with Amar's vocals. I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? This has to be some kind of mistake. His flipping hair flopping about. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set. Oops, oh god. Which means the Lamar's testimony was true. The A button on my Xbox controller's gone really sensitive lately. Grah. Order. So, she was telling the truth about what she heard. It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. Well, what did he say? It's over. Press the switch. Now. Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescend, you went on stage during the second set. You could have done it. Huh, but why did we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? Lamar was moving through the air vent, Your Honour. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent? Oh. Once again I am reminded of something. Our performance that day. Your performance? See, the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Hairfallhead. What is it with today? Problem after problem. Achtung. My hog won't start, my guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burnt to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. Ah! It was you, Darian. I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you, I know how you play, You're better than that. Yeah, well, You what? Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at? I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latus's 45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to disclate your shoulder, if you're an amateur. Wait, you mean his playing was effective because he hurt himself shooting that revolver? Ha! You're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent? I'm a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a 38 caliber weapon. A much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latus, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim. So the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? The thought had occurred to me, yes. Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent! What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleaze rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey you, attorney. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything, and you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a 45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin, I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth. The witness has a point. The defence's arguments, whilst persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. Proof of innocence. Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latus had not been to our country before? According to our records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great. Now I need to find their motive. Well, you'll need to present one thing at one statement for this testimony, so it's easy. We've got to go to statement 5. If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? We present the replica. And I'm just going to amend my guide for a second. There we go. You want to take a look at this? What's that? Oh, it looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. I can't say detective properly. Quickly. Detective Crescent. Ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that colour. It is a variety only found in the Republic of Borginia. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Latus, does it? It does. Wait, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon. Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative? For what? Apparently it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Borginia. Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. What? There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out onto the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, but the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export. One originally enforced by Interpol, among others. Interpol. Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager. But that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country. That what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was going to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny. Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business. And this is the last testimony of the case, cocoon smuggling. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market, too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in International Affairs. I know the deal. Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You kids think up the craziest things. But no way am I going to risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organisation would be risky. Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He's up to something, and I'm going to find out what. So immediately we have to press statement 1, the guide says, even though I bet we don't have to. Really to carry on the story, but... That memo, that's how you know about the cocoons. Oh, nice one, nice one. I'm running scared now. You had to know about the cocoons to plan this. Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I'd never heard of them. Well, Lemoire knew about them, though not their use. My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control information about the cocoons. Most people only know they're illegal to export, that's all. Then I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all. You could say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah. That includes everyone in International Affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol too, for that matter. Yeah. Okay, I guess that was just some information that we didn't need to know about, but statement 4, yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. We present a newspaper article. This one. Incuritis. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keys to goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article. That's about the Chief Justice's. A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning. Ah! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying. Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You were saying. The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. Not even to save his own son's life. But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal. That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. God. Detective Crescent, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about if the Chief Justice was the buyer, why a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice? Where's your proof? Well... Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Virginian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Let's get to you with the cross-examination. Okay. So, a bunch of new things have been added. Virginian Customs is very thorough. Everything and everyone gets checked. Cocoon possession will get you arrested on the spot and then sentenced to death. Hey man, if there's a way to get cocoons out of there, I should like to know. Okay, this statement, we present the guitar. Actually, there is one way. What? One way to get something out of the country, no checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lemoire. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar is from Virginia? That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane, changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamar's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, Hair Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yep, this in fact. An igniter. Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean... He means this, of course. There was a way to get Cocoon out of the country. They could use Picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access? Like a member of the band. Yuck! Order, order, order! So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Ah, Hair Forehead. At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lamar's ballad, if you please. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Ah, Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over! Press the switch! Now! The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then... Mr. Latouche died, with Lamar there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescend? I've gotta know, you make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian. Fair. The Republic of Virginia? Sorry, ma'am, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha! Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help, or Virginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamar heard proves it. It's over. Press the switch. Now! You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it, the coup de grace. And for once I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. The only Bodginian on stage. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalised. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice? Where is he? Machitabaye. There's only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Machitabaye. But, Mr. Justice, he's your client. Defense attorney accusing his client, that's a new one. I assure you no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche, and I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime. Indeed, the defendant is Bodginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was, in fact, Lamoire? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honour. Electronic signals? Recall this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamoire was in the air then, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air then. But looking at this, it seems that Lamoire still could have done the deed. Nope. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and Lamoire standing were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamoire's position in the vent. Ah. Well, Detective Crescent, what do you say to that? Your Honour? Yes, Detective? Could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time? Yeah, well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. There's a spark. Too bad, so sad, punk. Punk? First you were sleaze, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What exactly were we supposed to see in this video? The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian? Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the Wii pianist to set off that igniter. That right? Yes. Well, in order to do that, you'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? He never stops, is what he's going to say. What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. Ah, that's the problem, man. You still don't get it. Ah. Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano and the drums. The only one with her hands free was the Diva. Lamoire. But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she? Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch. How many times are we going to listen to this part? I'm going to have nightmares about the song. The piano plays non-stop. He couldn't have pressed that switch. Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be played with when the guitar catches fire. Well, it's okay, we all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... strange? What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. Odd? Mr. Justice, if Magic Dubai didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is. But everything points to it. Every fact says he's the accomplice. You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire. But the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story is full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Magic Dubai the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought. Apollo, if Magic is not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. Ah! What do I do? What do I do? Ah! There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd? Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now? Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd? Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this? Can you prove Magic Dubai pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove... I can prove it, I can't prove it, I can prove it. I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us evidence supporting this. Hair forehead, you're sure about this? Ha! Accepts it. There's no evidence, man. Let's see your evidence, Miss Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed that switch? We go to the mixing board. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honour. Music? What about music? Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. Right before the guitar burst into flame. I hear a piano being played. But doesn't it sound kind of simple? Simple? I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Machi could have played that part with one hand? One hand? He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other. Ha! What, so you're some kind of piano savant? Actually no. What do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. Maybe. Don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah? You got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he tried, even if he had 3 hands. So sorry, so sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or 2? You can't. I admit, it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No. No way! Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say for himself. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Machi was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire. And one section of the song proves it. Okay, so what do I do? Oh. Wait a minute. It was 4 that was the piano, right? I guess this one? It says it's this one. I'm just going to go with it, because I can't really figure it out myself. Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you realise by now just what it was that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you've realised it yourself, Fairfallhead. Realise what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the butterfleeting melody phrase. Okay. Does sound pretty simple. Man, how many times do we have to listen to the same thing? You're right. Enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar bursts into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spots in the first verse. Pay attention to "Oh, that night in your embrace." It's a lot more complicated then. Ah, but play verse 2 again. There, did you hear that? They feel the same, true, but they are clearly very different. What? Well put, Your Honour. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure. What's that prove? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. The two verses are different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had it played specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. Oh, that was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. I asked myself why Machi changed how he played. And there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. Order! I believe this ties all the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, quite. Though personally this comes as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up. Very well, barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. It's not over? I don't like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed. In you, Hairfallhead. Huh? Me? Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts, anyone can see it was him. Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it. But 1,000 facts might point towards the same conclusion. But without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it. It does not seem as though the defence has any more evidence to present. Oh, I think if he did, he already would have seen it a long ways back. It is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation. What? The truth is staring us all right in the face. Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said? It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. I think he just meant a weak spot, no? Kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. Won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now or what? It may look like I've got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney. Huh. Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go. Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah yes, good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has a good igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, you'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo. What? And this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better. I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end. Herr Forehead, you are accusing this man, Darian Crescent, of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latus and the smuggling of a Virginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. This trial has already run on for far too long. As Justice, this will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood? Yes, Your Honour. Now let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darian Crescent. Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darian Crescent's plan is present evidence we call the witness. Your igniter isn't the piece of evidence. Huh? So what is? It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt? Machitabaye! The one person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Machitabaye. Your client? Again? Machitabaye was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. Huh, how so? It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latus was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burnt out guitar. Aha, very scientific of you. Thus, if Machitabaye acknowledges his agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of a Virginian cocoon, the case is solved. Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Virginian law. Ah! Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. What? It's the other way around. If Matchy doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Matchy admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ah! The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Virginia, and they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Virginian cocoon. Yeah, but if Matchy doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Virginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here, not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it, but who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machitabaye. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan. Machitabaye knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. crime of cocoon smuggling. Heh. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. A hidden mansion? Real nice. You want a house made out of cookies? Or no, a house made out of pianos? Pianos? Why did I say it that way? I was just reading as I was there. Come on. Pianos? 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 That's a weird word. Please! Don't take! Is he saying take? Take! Talk! We're saying talk. Don't talk! Darian! I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession? Oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. We won! Well, have you been listening to today's trial? Yes. And you'll talk? You'll tell this court everything? I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now. I knew from beginning, I knew. Matchy. Situation, I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However, it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Matches Dubai, yes, I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Miss Latus, this court is prepared to renounce the verdict. Ah! He's taking his glasses off. I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth, you find truth. That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant Matches Dubai not guilty. Yay! Yippee! Woo! Yay! Court is adjourned. July 10th, 4:42 PM, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. I wonder what will happen to Matchy. Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well. Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Lamar. Ma, is something wrong? I'm sorry, Matchy was your partner on stage, your friend. Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do, yet something got a hold of him, something evil, I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be? I'm still sorry. Do not be sorry. You're giving me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation. It was my suggestion, actually. You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I've always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving. According to the doctor, Lamar lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident? As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I had been running from. I was scared. You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth. If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting. Painting? That's right, she's a landscape painter in sound, after all. I will paint the two of you, I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lamar. I owe my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission. Apollo, Trucy, I hope that we will meet again someday soon. You bet, me too. And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, The guitar Serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad, have them catch the killer at the end. The end of Turnabout Serenade. Da 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 da! Yay, we did it! Oh, it took an hour. Christ on a bike! And we got a new episode, the last case of the game, Turnabout Succession. But that will be for next time. I'm not going to save yet, in case this recording hasn't gone through, in which case I'm going to be so annoyed because I'll have to record the whole hour-long thing again later on, so I hope this recording went well. So yeah, there we go. We finally got the guy. We didn't have evidence, but we had a witness who could tell us everything that happened to save his own skin. Thank God. Or else that would have been bad. But the whole court system thing, the trial system, and, you know, the size of evidence needed to win, that's going to become a major part of the last case of this game. So we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, whoa. One last case, then we're done with Apollo Justice. So, thank you all for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you decide to subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing, and ding that bell to be the first to hear about my new videos. Thanks again, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.